So this morning I thought I would play a little bit more with this brand new Party Puffins. I think this is just an adorable set. And I've made a couple of cards already with this, and I need some more birthday cards. And I thought this would be such a cute one. I love the way they're just dancing around. So this is what I'm going to be using today. And we have an interesting card sketch. So we have a card base that is our regular 5.5 by 8.5 folded in half. So I'm going to start with just white today. And then I thought I would crack open our new 6x6 in color pack of paper. So these are the 5 colors, the new colors. So we have the polished pink. And what I love about this is that in each color there's there's actually 4 patterns because you have the backs, right? So you have these dotty stripes, I don't know what you'd call those. And then you've got this little star pattern. And then if you turn them over, you get 2 other patterns, especially the plaid, which I absolutely love. Okay, and so that's how each color comes with all these different patterns. So isn't that fun? I love our 6x6 paper packs. Whenever you're looking for just the color without worrying about too much about a pattern, whether they're, you know, flowers or stripes or whatever. So there you go. There's our colors. I love this dark green. So I'm not sure what color. I think I'm going to go with the green, actually. Yeah, I might go with the green on some of the pieces. We could mix up the 2 greens. Okay, so we've got the beaded pattern, and then let's take this pattern here. So we'll have 2 different patterns of the greens. Let's see how that works out. And then we have, so the card base, I'm not sure I want to use white now anymore. And then we have a strip here that's 2 1/4 by 5.5. Okay, and then we have a strip here. Now, so we have the card base, and then we have a layer here. And so this strip here, if you wanted to use ribbon, you can just wrap that ribbon right around this layer before you stick it down to your card base. And we've got this piece here, and then we've got our focal point. And rather than use the ovals, I'm going to use, this is a really fun die set, Hippo and Friends. I originally bought the dies without the stamp set because look at all the great dies for doing greetings or doing a main focal point. And so I thought this one would be a lot of fun. Okay, this one here would be a lot of fun on this card. Okay, so let's start thinking about designing. So I think I've changed my mind. I might want to pull in this green instead of the white. So these are the in colors also in the cardstock. Okay, and you can actually get packs of all 5 colors in a pack. So you don't have to buy like 1 full pack of each color. You can actually buy this combo pack, which is kind of cool. So I might go with this lighter card base here. This is called Soft Succulent. It's a beautiful green. So let me pull out my trimmer and we'll cut this in half to create our card base. So 5.5 inches. And then we'll score it in half at 4 1/4. Like so. Now we're going to need to do some more cutting. So this is my card base, and you know you always fold it on, excuse me, the mountain. You have a mountain and a valley, so you're always going to fold it on the mountain. Okay, and then I'm going to pull out my bone folder and give it a good crease. Okay, so there's our card base. All right. So then I thought maybe, ooh, this is kind of cool. I thought maybe this could be our first layer. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. This will be a great masculine card. So 4 by 5 1/4. How many of you crafting today? Dollars to Donuts. Carol is crafting this morning, I'll bet ya. Okay, so that's going to be my card base with my first layer. How nice those two greens go together. Okay, then we have a piece that goes across. So I could actually do that piece, but I think it's too dark. Maybe I'll pull in the light green again. I'm playing with patterns today. So this is 1/2 inch by 4. So let's do 4 because that's going to be a card layer anyway. And then 1/2 inch. We'll see if we like this. Okay, 1/2 inch by 4. Now, trying to remember where I put my other pack of cardstock. Is this it here? Yes, it is. I think I'm going to change this up a bit. I think I'm going to put a bit of solid color behind there. So let me just pull out some scrap here. So that was 1/2 inch. So maybe I'll do 3/4 of an inch. So let's just trim this off. And let me do 3/4 of an inch. I'm just going to give it a bit of a border. And this again has to be by 4. Okay. I think I'm going to like this better. Just to break the pattern up a little bit. I'm going to put that on top like that. Okay. Now we have a piece that comes down the center here. So we could do the stripes now down the center here. What is that? 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. If this isn't exactly 2 1/4, I'm still going to go with it. Yeah, it's just 2 inches. So I'm going to go 2 by 5 1/2. It's the full length of the card. No, I don't want it the full length of the card. That's wrong. See how it doesn't go to the end of the card? That should be 5 1/4. 5 1/4. Let's see what this looks like. Let's do this. Like that. I'm not sure I like that, but let's go with it and see what happens. Maybe I need a light color behind that. Wonder what that would look like. Yeah, I'm going to do a lighter color behind it. So that was 2 inches. So I'm just going to go 5 1/4. There we go. That'll work. Okay, so we're going to mount this on top of this. A nice narrow little border. So that's going to go on top like that. I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, so let's now, and this style of card where it's all basically just greens, It's called a monochromatic card because it's all basically one color. So let's stamp some of these adorable puffins. So it's going to be a birthday card. We're going to use a puffin with a hat. And we might do the birthday cake on the inside. And then we're going to say happy birthday. And happy birthday and happy birthday with the cake and make a wish. And yeah, let's start with that. So let me grab a piece of Whisper White. Now I gotta decide. Ooh, I kind of like that geometric one. That's kind of cool. I think we'll build it off the geometric one. Okay, so this piece is big enough. We're going to do the puffins this way. Okay, so let's grab, so we want to stamp this in black, of course, but you know, you could make purple puffins, or you could make different colored puffins. I mean, they're party puffins. They could be dressed up. Oh, that's stamped pretty good. I got that nicely inked up. Sometimes solid images, they take multiple stamping, and so you could bring out, maybe I'll show you the Stamparatus. I'm going to show you, this is a really, really cool tool. This is from Stampin Up, called the Stamparatus. This is just a fantastic tool. It was basically designed because if you don't ink up the stamp very well, or you've inked it very well, nothing that you've done wrong, it just doesn't stamp very well. There's not enough ink on it. It means that you can ink it up again and stamp it again, and your image hasn't moved. So it comes with a foam mat, and you need to use this when you use the clear photopolymer stamps. But because these are the red rubber stamps, they already have foam in between, you see, and so you don't need this. So you take that out for the red rubber stamps. This is just an extra sheet that I created so I could line things up. So let me show you that puffin again and how this Stamparatus works. It's really kind of a cool tool. So you take, I'll just use a scrap piece of cardstock. So you take a scrap piece of cardstock, and in this case, because we were planning to cut it out, it doesn't really matter where I put it in the Stamparatus. So I'm just going to put it here, and you get these earth magnets. They're super, super, super strong. So you just want to put those on there. And I've got, this is duct tape I've wrapped around them so that I can lift them off the board, because you can't believe how super strong they are. And it also helps to ply them apart should they snap together, and you want to really avoid them snapping together because they can crack. Okay, now the other thing I like to do is usually put, you know, a stamp set underneath here just to keep the door parallel. There goes my die. You want to keep the door, you know, parallel to your surface for inking purposes, okay? So then what you basically do, let me just clean this off, is that you take your stamp, and, you know, if this was the card front, you would be putting it where you want it to stamp on the front of your card. Okay, let me pull this up a bit more so you can see it. Okay, so you would position this on your front of your card, wherever you want to put it. Okay, make sure it's really clean. Okay, place it down on your cardstock. Then you take the door and you press it to lift it off. Okay, so now it's over here. And then what you do is you take your ink and you ink up your image. Okay. Now, if you don't ink it up very well, it's not a problem. You're going to be able to re-ink it and then re-stamp it. So I'm going to stamp it the first time, and then you just rub on the door and then lift it up. You see, so it's really not as dark as I want it to be. So now I can ink it up again, and I can stamp it again. And because that image hasn't moved, that paper hasn't moved anywhere, look at that. Look how black that is. So the Stamparatus, that's basically what it was designed for. And there's lots of other techniques you can do with this. The other thing that sets this particular Stamparatus or stamping tool apart from any others on the market is the hinging. So let me just show you that quickly. It's really, really cool. Okay, so say you wanted to do a design. Again, just pretend this is a full card front. Do I have a card front? Well, here I have a card front. Here's the cool thing. I love doing this. Okay, and I try and stay away from the hinge. A lot of people line it up here, but if the stamp is too close to the edge, it doesn't stamp very well. So that's why I have this little grid sheet that I created, and then I laminated it so I can line it up. And put my magnets back on. Now watch this cool trick now. So let's say you wanted to do make a wish, make a wish, make a wish, make a wish all the way down the border. So what you'll do is you'll position it in the first spot you want to do the make a wish. So I'll do it right there. Let's take off my puffin. Okay, I'm going to pick it up with the door. Okay, let's just do a different color. Let's do this pink. So this is the main reason you want this door to be parallel to your surface. It's just easier to apply your ink. Okay, so there's my ink, and then I stamp it. Okay, and again, if that didn't ink up very well, you could do it again. So no, now watch this. So what I do is I'm going to take this door out. You see how there's hinges in here? So I take it out and then I move it down to the next spot. Then I ink it up. And I stamp. Then I lift it up, move it down, ink it up, move it down, move it down, ink it up. So what do you think about that? Isn't that a cool tool? And the fun thing about this is that, I'll show you, you could have done a full solid inking on this one and then not re-inked it when you did this one, and this would just be a lighter color. Okay, now I'm going to have to move, I don't want to move my paper, I'm just going to have to move this over to get this last one in there. Make a wish. You see, that didn't stamp very well. So I'm going to just do that one more time. So that's the main purpose of this, is that you can re-ink and re-stamp. Okay, now I'll show you the next trick. So that way you could do a repetitive pattern either with words, or you know, you could do a whole bunch of balloons coming down, whatever you want. Now let me show you. I'm just going to take my cloth, cleaning cloth, and take off the ink. Clean my stamp. Okay, now watch this trick. Okay, so the next thing is, and make sure it's really clean, okay? So if you you know, just tap it on some paper just to make sure. So now what you can do is you can reposition the stamp in between those Make-A-Wish. You could offset them a little bit. I'm going to offset them just to show you. Or you could line them up. So I'm going to put back my door and I'm going to pick up my stamp. Okay, and now I'm going to ink up with a different color. Just because I can. So let's use this new color. This is called Freesia. Hang on, what's it called? I don't know my new colors yet, sorry. Fresh Freesia. Fresh Freesia. Now remember, just tap your ink pad. Don't press down because you don't want to get those lines around the circumference of the stamp. So now I'm going to stamp it. Lift it up. You got to get yourself into a rhythm. Move it down. Ink it up. Stamp it. Move it down. Ink it up. Move that die before it hits the floor again. Stamp it. Move it down. Stamp it. There you go. Now, the other great reason for this tool is particularly if you're a demonstrator or just a card maker and you enter swaps and you have to make, let's say, 10 of the exact same card and you have lots of stamping to do, then you just keep putting in your cardstock and then stamping your design on there. So there you go. There is your, now because I've done that on a good piece of cardstock that's the right measurement, I can use that on a card. Isn't that fun? So that's our Stamparatus. It's just a great tool. And no other one on the market has the hinging. So if you want to do this kind of pattern work, then you want to seriously consider this tool. It's not very expensive. Well, it's $65 Canadian. I'm not sure what the US price is, but it's worth it. And if you look on YouTube, just do a search for Stamparatus, you'll see lots of other techniques that people use it with. Okay, so there you go. There's a tool for you to think about. Now let's bring back this puffin and let's give him a clean. Okay. All right, now let's put this Make-A-Wish on a block because we're going to use that. Let's put the cake on a block. I love this little cake. It's like a little cartoon cake. Let's put this Happy Birthday on a block. Okay. Now let's, where's my original puffin? Because we have to do a bit of coloring on here. Okay, we're going to pull in a bit of, I'm going to use this Poppy Parade. I think this is a good color. And I'm just going to do a little line on half that piece there. Then I think I'm going to pull in a bright yellow and put a bit in there. And then I'll do a bit of yellow on his beak. Okay, and I'll do Not sure what color feet they have. I think they're orange. So I did research information about puffins because I don't know a lot about puffins. Here I'm thinking they're only in Atlantic Canada, but they are in other countries and they look a little bit different in other places. Now let's decorate his hat. Let's pull in the same colors that are in this color family. Let's use this Fresh Freesia blends. So when we come out with our in colors, we come out with blends. These are the alcohol markers. We come out with a cardstock. We come out with the designer series paper, the pattern paper. Very often we come out with ribbons. So yes, we did get ribbons with this set. Here's the set of ribbons. I made this little box yesterday to hold them in. So ribbons. We got some little rhinestones. And yeah, we get, it's all coordinated. Okay, I have to leave you guys and go to the Big Shot or my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm going to cut out this little puffin. I'll be right back. Okay, here's our little puffin. Isn't he cute? Okay, let's bring back our card and try and decide what we're doing. It's looking awfully dark. I'm not sure what do you guys think about this card? It's looking dark. How's our time? Oh, we've got lots of time. I'm not crazy about this card. I don't know why. It's just not coming together for me. Any suggestions, ladies? Help me out here. I'm thinking I should have started the card with a different color. Maybe it would have been better with the purples to match his hat. What do you think? This doesn't happen to me very often. I usually, not to brag or anything, but I usually pull it together, pretty well. But sometimes I struggle. Sometimes I have these, I call them my dead design days. Like I just struggle designing. So things just don't come together. It's either the shape or the color, or you can't go wrong with the color really, because it does all go together. But I'm not sure I like all that dark green. I love the green, don't get me wrong, but it's too dark. It's too dark. So I'm thinking I might want to lighten it up a little bit here. Really lighten it up. So here's an idea. I'm going to grab a piece of Whisper White and I'm going to go and emboss it this time and see what that looks like. So I chose to use my hammered metal embossing folder because it kind of looks like, cracked ice. So if I do that, okay, let's see, do that, and then I just had another idea. So I wanted to do something like this. You know what? I'm going to change the design totally. I'm going to do this. I love this trick. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do something different. I'm going to do something like that. Yep. I'm going to abandon the green for today. I'm doing something different. So I'm just going to wrap this like this. And I'm going to take a piece of Scotch tape and stick that to the back of that. Okay. There we go. Now I think I'm going to pop this up with some dimensionals. Yeah. Like I said earlier, thankfully this doesn't happen very often. Where I get, today I was really muddly. I kind of thought when I picked that green and all those different patterns, it was going to look great. And I've done that before and it works great, but there's something about that green, although it's a great green, it just doesn't work together. I don't know. It's just kind of odd. Anyway, not to sweat it. Okay, this party puffin is going to a party. Okay, so I need to grab another piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4 is for the inside of our card. So 4 by 5 1/4. Let's do it this way first. 5 1/4, and then 4. You guys are so great. You're so supportive. Yeah, the greens are going to be awesome. Awesome, awesome. I can't wait for our annual catalog has just been released, but I can't wait for our holiday catalog to come out, which is being released. Well, I get to do a pre-order in July. I think it's coming out in August. Okay, so not to waste our happy birthday, we might put that in there. See, the green on the inside would look kind of cool, but we don't have anything green on the outside. I'm a bit picky that way. Okay, so what do we want to do on here? So I have the party puffin, the happy birthday. Oh, I wanted to do the cake. So happy birthday. No, let's do the cake. Okay, hang on. I have this Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish with the cake. So let's stamp the Make-A-Wish. I'm really excited. I'm expecting another order today with some more new stuff to play with. Okay, Make-A-Wish. Okay, Make-A-Wish, and then I'm going to do the cake. And we'll color the cake. Make-A-Wish. So again, I always want to stamp and color before I stick this inside the card, just in case any errors happen. Okay, so let's color this cake, and we're going to stick to the same colors. There we go. I like the cake. I like the coloring on the cake. Okay, so we can glue this on the inside of the card. Make-A-Wish. Oh, I just love this color. This fresh freesia is very pretty. Very, very pretty. Okay, there's our card. It's an obvious birthday card, don't you think? Make a wish. There you go.